season of Horrible Horrors. This month we'll be going over 5 particular films in celebration of the best damn time of the year, Halloween. Though for being completely honest, I could have begun releasing these at the end of June, the same time that the department stores start putting out Halloween decorations and shit for sale, but we will save that Lewis Black rant for another video. Before we begin on our first film, I wanted to give a little bit of context as to why I picked these specific movies. Because they suck. No, because the first horror film I was ever exposed to as a young child was a slasher film. I first experienced the original Friday the 13th when I was about 10 years old. Quite frankly, it scared the living fuck out of me. I didn't even see the ending the first time, which makes it 1,000 times worse. Did not sleep very well that night, not to mention the fact that Dad turned me away when I tried to climb into bed with him and Mom that night. Daddy, why? Anyway, the equivalent of me dipping my big toe into the swimming pool was slasher films, and I absolutely love them. So with that in mind, and that painful trip down memory lane, I thought it best that we go over the 5 biggest slasher franchises and just go to appreciate exactly what they bring to the horror genre by going over the worst films of each of those franchises. I mean, I'm not stupid. I mean, I'm not gonna make a video praising him because nobody watches that. So I want those views. So I'm gonna go over the ones that suck. So our first film is Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell. It's the 9th film in the popular horror series, and if you're worried that you're not going to really be able to follow along because you haven't seen the previous 8, don't worry! I'm going to catch you up. Friday the 13th is a film series revolving around Jason Voorhees, a terrifying serial killer boogeyman who murders teenagers around the summer camp that he attended as a child. He's this enormous, unkillable monster of a man, wearing a hockey mask to hide his deformities, and tends to utilize a machete to commit most of his murders. He is a modern morality play, the ultimate warning against the sins of premarital sex, drug use, and a hedonistic lifestyle. And that's it! 8 movies of the horror equivalent of a shark. Jason doesn't talk, doesn't negotiate, he just moves and kills, and that's it. It's brilliant. So we begin at Camp Crystal Lake, the murder ground for our would-be anti-hero. This lady really feels the need to shower in a creepy old cabin when suddenly, oh my god. Oh my god! Oh my god. What is going on with that towel? I mean, I can't take 2 steps out of the shower without it falling off. This lady's doing wind sprints in hers. At the touch. You know what? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's a lot easier to keep on a oh my god, there are my balls. So, Jason makes chase and attempts to slay the woman when suddenly what the fuck? What is this, RoboCop? What is happening right now? Yes, so this unstoppable killing machine from 6 of the 8 films is stopped in the very first scene. We're then taken to the morgue where the autopsy is being performed on this legendary mass murderer. After several routine lookovers, the doctor who's working on him becomes hypnotized by Jason's evil beating heart? And then he eats it? Spoiler alert, by the way, this is a really weird movie. So, now this guy who looks like young Ozzie Davis is Jason. Then we cut to Crocodile Dun Shaft over here, who just somehow knows everything about Jason and any exposition of this film. Next we meet Steve and Diana, who are somehow gonna tie into all this. So we see some campers who decide to jump right on board to Camp Crystal Lake once they hear that Jason's dead. Only he isn't, and the affirmative action killer comes and murders everybody. So then we get Jason jumping from body to body trying to get Steve, Diana, and those specific characters. Diana gets killed off, and we learn from a really drawn-out exposition conversation with Cowboy Shaft and Nerdy McGee that bum bum bum, Diana was Jason's sister. And now her daughter is the only person with the power to kill Jason for good. So we get this big showdown between Team Blonde and Ted Raimi lookalike versus Jason. And here's where the review is gonna fall apart a little bit. Jason Voorhees never had a fucking sister. And for those of you who are a little bit confused right now, let me explain how we got to this point. You see, in the original Friday the 13th film, we get to meet Jason's mom, and she's crazy! And she wants to seek revenge on the camp counselors who originally neglected her son at that camp by murdering all of them. And you know what? Between the time she gets her revenge and murders people, and they end up killing her at the end, she didn't have fucking time to have another kid! In the 8 previous films in this series, there was never any kind of mention of brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, step-cousins, nothing! But the people who wrote this film felt the need to just bring this up out of the blue with no prior indication so that their shitty little script would make more sense. F*** this movie. No, seriously, this thing is like a slap in the face. Let's go over, first and foremost, the fucking attitude problem that this movie has. This movie thinks it's too good to be a Jason Voorhees movie. It's like they drew the short straw in the production meeting and were forced to make a Jason movie. Oh, well, all the Friday the 13th movies, all he does is go around killing people. It's so hackneyed now. Why doesn't anyone just shoot the shit out of him and just end it? The movie just rolls its eyes at all the classic factors that make a Friday the 13th film.
Planning on smoking a little dope, having a little premarital sex, and getting slaughtered?
Well, Jason does just walk around and kill people. How boring. Okay then, assholes, how about you make a Friday the 13th film? What new ideas do you have that are going to freshen up the franchise? Okay, well, in this one, Jason jumps from, like, body to body. Okay, then what? Then he goes around and kills people? Oh, well, holy shit, I'm glad you're here to freshen up the series. You've just turned this whole damn thing around. The opening credits even say Kane Hodder starring as Jason, and that is a fucking laugh. Can you really be starring in a movie if you're not in it for more than 6 minutes? I mean, Alec Baldwin's speech in Glengarry Glen Ross is almost 10 minutes, and Michael Keaton was in Beetlejuice for 17. At least they can consider themselves stars. But when Kane Hodder spends more time as the goober security guard than as the killing machine he made famous, something is wrong. Hey. I understand wanting to change up the formula, maybe branch out a little bit, especially in a franchise this size. But people came to this movie to see Jason Voorhees kill camp counselors, not some weird new mythology that you guys bullshitted out of your butthole all of a sudden out of nowhere. And how does this thing end? Let me tell you. So after a ridiculously long display of, look what I did with my Tom Savini at-home makeup kit, and after a lot of back and forthing to fill time, we get to see the rebirth of Jason. And I literally mean rebirth. As in this weird, gross, alien, embryonic Jason thing crawls up into a woman's damn, I'm gonna kill my and then this will go through and just and then he just pops out a full-grown man. Because biology. So the blonde chick stabs Jason, and apparently the evil spirit or essence or whatever is a Roman candle because it just starts rocketing out of him. Then he gets sucked into hell, just like the title said. So this thing is a pretentious just pile of garbage. I mean, the story is convoluted and dumb. It thinks it's too good for the elements of its own franchise, and there's not even enough Kane Hodder in it to constitute a viewing for him. So, yeah, it sucks. I hate this movie. How many more of these do I have? Alright, well, thank you for watching Horrible Horrors Halloween Havoc. My name is Zach Romero. Until next time.
Suck this! Suck it. You know what I'd like to do to you? I'd like to take a crap right on your f***ing mask. A big old mango-sized crap. Yes, that's a